Welcome to the Agility in Real Life podcast, Take 5 in Real Life. Now your hosts, Mike Studeman, Jeff Lee, and Pat Campbell.
Hi, and welcome back to the Take5IRL podcast. I'm Jeff Lee, a partner at Agility IRL and one of your hosts.
And I'm Pat Campbell, another partner at Agility IRL and the co-host. And good to see everybody, and good to see you, Jeff.
Yeah, you as well, Pat. So we are talking, last episode, we talked about why start with an assessment. And we're kind of building on that with this episode, talking about the importance of understanding your unique challenges. One of the things that our partner Mike likes to say is you are unique, just like everybody else. But it's true, everybody is unique. And so why is that important for people to understand that before embarking on an agile transformation or even iterative improvements?
Well, I think of a couple of reasons that come to mind, Jeff. One is that everybody has different business priorities in terms of where they want to impact the business. And so that's going to have an influence on where you're going to focus your agile transformation or agile impact, because there's linkage between the business outcomes you want, the agile outcomes and capabilities, which help you focus on which agile practices you want to definitely change. So you got to start somewhere, and those business outcomes are always the best place because that's ultimately what we're trying to improve.
Yeah. I see it all the time with people coming to a new organization, whether that's an employee, a developer, a scrum master, a product owner, or maybe it's a consultant coach who goes to a new environment and they try to apply what worked for them at the last place. And they flame out, they fail, right? They don't get people to buy in. And it's because you're not understanding those unique challenges. And so, like we talked about, there's value in starting with an assessment and understanding what's unique about this place. One example, a couple of clients that we've worked in the last couple of years started off with an assessment. For both of them, the assessment pointed to the way that you prioritize work should change, right? But how they solved that was significantly different because of their cultures, right? One of them, the whole company was more geared toward working fast and getting those business outcomes of like speed to market. So they really went with a lean portfolio management approach. Let's get something quick. The other organization, predictability was really important to them and quality was really important to them. And they were okay with taking a more, stair step approach to moving in these agile practices. It worked better with their culture. Again, that upfront assessment and applying it to the culture was vital for their success.
Yeah, no question about it. And going back to your your vignette about someone going to a new company and flaming out. One of the other reasons they flame out is they try to change all the practices at once. Again, without some kind of filter in terms of where's this going to have impact on the business. And that goes to the adage about managing work in process. And while every situation is unique, that means you're going to want to really narrow down where you're going to try to have impact from an agile capability and practice perspective. So again, doing that assessment will help you map out the linkage, and if it's done well, and really have a quicker, better impact to show results to leadership.
Yeah, that's an important distinction with the work in progress, right? It's not only talking about the work that your teams are doing, as part of their day jobs, but also this cultural shift that companies are trying to do to, be better at fulfilling whatever those business outcomes are that they've identified. And so, like you said, you can't do it all at once. You have to prioritize.
Yep. So, in terms of takeaways then for our listening audience, what are we suggesting this week, this podcast, Jeff?
Well, limit your whip. We talk about that a lot, right? Do the assessment, like we talked about in the last episode, right? And you can do that internally. The trick with doing it internally is to do it in an unbiased way, right? We're all swimming in our own water, and we don't see that water that we're swimming in, and so it's really hard to do as an independent. Definitely recommend bringing in outside expertise to help with that, but It's better to do it internally than just blindly chart a course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a number of tools and approaches out there. When you do look through them and evaluate them, evaluate as well, how does it tie what you come up with to the business outcomes you're trying to impact? Because not all of them do that as well as others. So be sure you zero in on that as well.
Yeah, exactly. Anytime you're trying to get culture change out there, and especially to promote it to, leadership groups outside of your own group, being able to tie it to business outcomes is essential in getting buy-in.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us here for another episode of the Take 5 IRL podcast.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great week or weekend.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Take 5 IRL podcast. If you like it, please go ahead and share it with someone, as well as like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Also, leave us a comment or a suggestion for a future episode. Again, thanks for listening, and we look forward to you joining us next time on the Take 5 IRL podcast.